everyone confuses me with my niece. I could be flattered that my brother named his eldest daughter for me, but we all know that wasn't the case. Like his flagship, the Mary Rose, and me for that matter, the name honours our Holy Virgin Mother. Thinking about it, the only other names that appeared to be de rigueur in the 16th century were Elizabeth and Catherine. So if not for the Mary fusion, I suppose I'd have morphed into one or other of the Tudor queens. Not that I was an English Tudor queen. No, I was lower down the pecking order than that, just your average Tudor princess, like my sister Margaret. Given the fact that I was Queen of France, albeit briefly, wouldn't you think that would make identifying which Mary was which a little bit easier and avoid the confusion? Ah, I see your point. Mary Stuart was also Queen of France. Okay, I give up. I know who I am, and that's what matters, right? However, I will educate you about me. Mary Tudor. This Mary Tudor. So are you sitting comfortably? I was born into the fledgling Tudor dynasty. Father had established the Tudor throne. He'd laid the foundations. Some said, and indeed continued to say, that he had a tenuous claim to the English throne, but nonetheless, he kept hold of it. But then there really wasn't a lot of opposition. His reign heralded a new age for England, an end to bloodshed, uncertainty and insecurity, just what the country needed. And, of course, Mother was of royal lineage, let's not forget that. Their marriage, cunningly arranged between the two matriarchs of the House of York and Lancaster, our grandmothers, Elizabeth Woodville and Margaret Beaufort, was inspired. This union would unite the warring factions and finally bring peace to troubled England. The marriage also galvanised Father's position, and it was no accident knowing Our Lady Grandmother as I do. What no one could have predicted was Mother and Father loved one another. Well, that was the royal icing on the cake. You see what I did there? But seriously, their marriage was blissfully happy. I have such happy childhood memories, and seeing their example inspired us children to want the same. For my dear brother Henry, it would take him on a dark journey searching for the one, a journey that would change the face of England forever. The baby of the family, I was never short of company. 2 big brothers and a sister who thought me her own little doll to play with. Our parents had been blessed with healthy babies, and usually for the time all had survived birth, though they had suffered the loss of a daughter, Elizabeth, just 3, only a few months before I came along. I like to think I filled some of the void her death had left in Mother's heart. I'd arrived at Sheen Palace in March 1496, a late Mother's Day gift. She'd been well attended during my birth, it seems. My mother's nurse, Anne Scarron, was rewarded with 50 shillings for her service, a king or queen's ransom. As befitted my royal status, by the time I was 6, I went from the royal nursery to my very own household. We Tudors didn't mess around with dolls' houses. We were given the real thing. Things did change for me in many ways at that time. It's odd when you look back how I could have been so well adjusted and able to take things in my stride at such a tender age. I had a gentlewoman to cater for my every need, my own physician and my schoolmaster who taught me French and Latin. My introduction to music, dance and embroidery also started. In my day, you started your studies very young. My governess, Mother Guilford, Joan Vaux, was very much a mother to me. That we had formed such a bond was timely. The year before, I felt the excitement building. Arthur was to be wed. A beautiful Spanish princess was going to be my new sister. But after all the pageantry and dancing, Arthur left, taking my new sister with him. I was not very impressed. Mother missed him very much too. Harry and I did our best to keep her occupied. We were as thick as thieves and always up to some jape or another. But he missed our brother too. I suppose it's different for the boys. They like running around and playing with swords, shooting arrows, all a bit rough and tumble. Having a little sister wanting to join in all the big boy games maybe isn't the best substitute. Not that he ever made me feel anything but part of the fun. And of course, he did have his best friend Charles, our bonus big brother. I remember that spring day, the bird song heralding new beginnings. But there were to be no new beginnings for my eldest brother. They said living in the damp Welsh marshes had not suited his constitution. Whatever the cause, both he and Catherine had been ill. Where she had rallied and recovered, poor Arthur did not. A great veil of sadness engulfed us all, and for my remaining brother, everything was about to change.